having started a printing press and then a city guide magazine, I somehow tumbled into meeting a person who spoke about public relations. And this public relations person was sitting in the coffee shop of Park Hotel. It's amazing how Priya Paul asked me, can you do public relations as well over and above printing? But Priya trusted us, and that was the joy for us and how public relations started. Nobody knew what public relations was. So they wanted to know, what are you doing with public relations? It so quickly went from one company to another, whether it was SRF, whether it was DCM, whether it was Rand Vaccine. They needed somebody who could help them on understanding how to get a campaign or how to come up with a message. And at that time, these things were never called these words. It was what is that one line that you stand for? And we actually got them to meet with editors, journalists, understand what they do. And so therefore, there was, obviously, India was growing. The economy had opened up at exactly that time. So there were lots of people coming in. Well, I don't really know what the other agencies were doing, but we definitely brought technology into our company. And then we decided to open a Bombay office. So that was a big step for us because we were growing now and we needed people who were like us, who were trained together, etc. So yes, so what we did was when we started the office of Bangalore was the same thing. We moved somebody from Delhi to Bangalore. And then it kept growing. So then came all the other offices of Calcutta, etc. Lots of PR companies coming up in India, and lots of companies coming from abroad into India. So we had affiliations. They were not exclusive. So I learned more from that. And then we went into an exclusive affiliation when Bill Rylance, who was the Asia Pacific head of Burson Marsteller, he was in a Hong Kong office of a client who actually had a crisis with a joint venture between an American company and an Indian company. So he had never heard of Genesis, but however, he got onto a plane and came here, and we found that there was so much similarity about the way we work. And so at that time, what I learned from Bill Rylance was that of our top 10 clients, 9 of those clients of ours were theirs as their top 20. So we said, my goodness, I mean, we really need to be together. So he said, let's go to US and let's meet with Harold Burson. And we had lunch in his office, which he still sits in today. And he was saying only one thing: we need to do business to be partners, not just having a partnership. And so that is how it started. So now the number of PR companies that were coming up, it was time for us to come together. So that is how Public Relations Consultants Association of India started. It's been quite a while when we started working on public affairs, because it's not just about media, it's beyond that in advocacy. And we were sitting and saying, hey, we're having lunch so that we learn from each other. What about setting together a PAFI, a public affairs, say, association, or whatever we wanted to call it. And we all got together, lots more joined us. This journey is about the people in Genesis, who are over 300 people. There was one day one of our young team, who said that, can we set up a division for startups? Because they can't pay the kind of money that we are paying to our big clients. So it was them who came up with this idea, them who started it. and then who's running it today. When we look at the centers of expertise that we have, whether it's digital studio, whether it's content and design bureau, whether it is the issues and crisis, the client studio, all of that, the idea may come from anybody in this organization. And the best part is I don't have to see what's happening within it, because they are themselves running it as like a startup. And it is. And it's growing. It shows you that if you really want to do something, that you should own. And why do people here love what they're doing is because it's for them. To grow it, to make it, to do it, to deliver it, and of course, to make us proud. The core of Genesis is really the school of learning. It has been there for, I think, a decade and a half or 2 decades. I really don't know when we started this, but it started small and it just grew. And one fine day we started something called the Associate Learning Program, and they're called the ALPs. They're still known as GBMers, they're still known as ALPs, and I think from my heart is that I feel GBMers will always be GBMers. Always. You meet them anywhere and everywhere. And we love that. I'm going to say, dear God, please help me to thank the many, 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 many people that have been behind it, behind all of us, behind the organization. They're just too many. It's whether it's our affiliates, whether it's our partners, whether it is our own team, whether it is across the world, whether it is our clients, our teachers, too many.